Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundWeb Studios and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific lady who's an indie singer-songwriter, born and raised in Lorain, Ohio, also a music therapist, vocal instructor, and also the founder of Rocktown Music Academy. We'll talk about that. She's known for public music and music therapy research and vocal structure at the Rocktown Music Academy. And also, she's a graduate of Indiana University in Opera. She moved to New York City 10 days before the 9/11 attacks and moved to LA to become a solo artist. Also hired as a personal assistant to Danny Bonaducci and also led the largest music therapy study to research live music in surgery. And she's also got some couple of releases out there, being in the hometown and Burn For You, Live Lays and Jumping, Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Lorain, Ohio, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio as well, too. The indie singer-songwriter, born and raised from Lorain as well, too. Talking about hometown and Burn For You. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Jaclyn Bradley. Jaclyn, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Mike. I'm so happy to be on your show today. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well. So you're an indie singer-songwriter. You're born and raised in Lorain, Ohio, and you're back. You've done some touring. You're also a music therapist, vocal instructor, and founder of the Rocktown Music Academy. You know, if you're published music therapy research and vocal instructor at Rocktown Music Academy. You graduated from Indiana University in Opera, moved to New York City 10 days before the 9/11 attacks. You moved to Los Angeles to be a solo artist, and you're hired as a personal assistant to Danny Bonaducci. We'll find out more about that. You had some songs featured, music featured in some networks, and you also led the largest music therapy study to research live music in surgery. And I guess it's for heartbroken patients that could be used for that. And also filmmaker as well, too. And you also made some appearances. You have a new song and release, Hometown and Burn For You. And before getting all that, Jaclyn, tell us how you first got started.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for that introduction. I started singing at 3 years old. I was in a little preschool graduation, and I was not old enough to graduate with my class because you had to be four. And
Mhm.
so the teacher gave everybody graduation caps, and I just got this Burger King cap. And she said, I felt
Hey,
kind of
hey, at
bad.
least you felt like a queen on that day.
Well, I was not happy. I didn't get to graduate. I got this, paper cap. And so she said, Jaclyn, what do you want to do that's special? And I said, I want to sing a song. And so everyone got their diploma. And at the end, she said, Jaclyn is going to sing a song. And I sang, You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby.
Hmm.
At the end, the crowd all, applauded. And I told my dad, I liked making the people happy. And so that was really the beginning of what is still happening today. I hope that I'm still making people happy, but I am definitely still singing.
And certainly did as well too. And of course, besides that moment as well too, what are some other precise moments that simply influence you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
I went to see Alanis Morissette in concert when I was 16 years old, and I snuck up to the front row. And for the first time, I saw a female embodying the rock star persona and playing many instruments and taking command of the stage. And I watched her and I said, I want to do that. I want to inspire. I want to, inspire other young women. And so that concert definitely was a game changer for me too.
And certainly did. And besides Alanis Morissette, who are some other favorite singers, songwriters, and musicians growing up?
Joni Mitchell, I loved. I would steal my father's CDs and albums, and he would play some for me, and I'd pretend like, "Oh, that's okay," and then I would go and sneak and take them to my room, and he'd be like, where are my Joni Mitchell albums?" And they're always empty.
The dog
Um,
ate them.
right. I loved Court and Spark was my favorite album of hers. I loved Blue. Tori Amos was a songwriter who played piano. I love Tori Amos. So a lot of female artists. Pat Benatar. Loved Pat Benatar. So yeah, there I was definitely inspired. And then, during the time I was growing up, there was the Lilith Fair. There was Jewel and just so many artists that were coming out as female lead singers, and it was
Hmm.
it was an inspiring time.
And certainly does as well too. You also graduated from Indiana University, and you also made a worldwide and nationwide trek. We'll talk about that just one minute with Jaclyn Bradley. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundWeb Studios. Visit online at SoundWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon, a paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon, a paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has gotten great reviews. In Evil Evan endorses by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com on over 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Apple Music, Odyssey, Pandora, Podbean. Also, follow us on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Also, follow us on social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and more. And take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once and Wrinkles, also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. You're here with the multi-talented indie singer, songwriter, born and raised Lorain, Ohio, Jaclyn Bradley, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And Jaclyn, you graduated from Indiana University, and tell us about your venture going from
Well,
Indiana
first
University.
of all,
You went to New York
I
City to Los Angeles and more.
I love that throw pillow, by the way.
Oh, do you? Okay,
So
we got them
cool.
available for your
I
guest
know, I
coming up. Yeah.
love it. I wish I had a throw pillow yeah, that's so cool. So yeah, so everyone get a throw pillow. It's really, really unique.
Oh
So
yeah, and then if you want one, just let me know as well too, and we'll send you a link, and you can go and order for your family and friends, and for your
oh,
lovely pets if you have them too. So.
yes. Thank you so much. I think my cats would love that throw pillow.
Oh yeah, and
They'd
it's
be there
perfect
all
too.
over
So.
it. Yeah, so Indiana University. I went 17 years old. I first went to Interlochen, which is in Michigan. They have a really fine art camp that I think the best singers and instrumentalists of the world go there in the summer. And during that time, I had an audition for several colleges, and I sang for the dean of music for Indiana University. And you know, I don't know what it was that day, but I made him cry happy tears. And I kind of knew in that moment that maybe I would get a scholarship. And I was offered a scholarship to Indiana University from that audition at Interlochen.
Nice. That's a good idea. Audition for a scholarship. I like that.
Yes, well, yes, that always helps, especially for artists. So I
Mm-hmm.
went there and for 4 years studied classical music, theory, and languages. Sang, you know, all of the great composers, and it was a beautiful education.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And from there, you went on to New York City. This was 10 days before the 9/11, and that had to be something right there. It's like you go play music, and all of a sudden, it's like, in comes 9/11.
Unexpected for everyone. And my roommate and I watched it fall from our apartment roof. It
Wow.
was, yeah, she actually was an employee at the Trade Center, did not go to work that day. I told her to play hooky with me that day. I said, you know what? You haven't taken a day off in so long. Show me around town. And she called and took the day off. And a few hours later, we got a call from her family to turn on the news, and we let them know she was safe. But then we went to our roof and we saw the smoke, and then the building was gone, the first building.
Wow.
But yeah, it was um, a tragedy and a terrible time in New York, but a part of history I'll always remember.
Mm-hmm. And certainly as well, too. And from New York, you also went on to LA as well, to be a solo artist. And you also worked as a personal assistant to Danny Bonducci. That's interesting.
What a job to have, really. I was a hostess before I took that job. And he had, they're divorced now, but he had the most wonderful wife named Gretchen Bonaducci, who was also a singer. So not only did I become his personal assistant, but I was nannying their kids and I was singing in Gretchen's band. So it was a crazy job. And they were doing at the time the VH1 show Breaking Bonaducci.
Hmm.
And so a couple weeks after I took the job, they said, would you be on our reality show? And that was a whirlwind couple of years on VH1.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and I remember watching Danny Bonaducci back in the days of the Partridge Family. He was a Chicago radio personality. I mean, just an
Yes.
amazing career he had, and you also had some music features as well too. MTV, Bravo, TLC, HDTV, and a bunch of films. So you did not go unnoticed.
I was very lucky through the VH1 show. I made a lot of contacts that were music supervisors, and my music did make it onto several shows, which was so great to hear the music I would write in my bedroom now on television. It was cool for a 20-year-old. I was pretty excited. Yeah.
You know something? I think I'm crying happy tears right now, deep inside. I mean, you make happy tears with everybody on the outside, but I'm doing this on the inside. And which, by the way, you also led the largest music therapy study to research live music in surgery. So it's like using happy tears maybe to heal broken hearts or whatever it is. It's like live music in surgery. That is really interesting.
Well, after the Bonaducci gig, I came home for a short time and I was like, I have to do something for the greater good here. Like, I've been on TV and I'm, with Bonaducci's and Hollywood, but it was, in the end, very empty because, you have your songs heard, but what are you really doing to help others? And so I went back to school for music therapy and worked with one of the best in the business. Her name was DeForia Lane. She paved the way for me. I worked at university hospitals, and we began a study. And we went into surgery with women who were facing breast cancer,
Oh,
and they were
wow.
having surgeries to determine whether or not they had cancer or not. Was the tumor cancerous? So this is a very anxious time for women and their families.
Hmm.
And we brought them a song of their choice. Now, some of the women wanted to celebrate. They wanted to, hear Walking on Sunshine. Some wanted to hear a religious song, Amazing Grace. But one woman wanted to hear sexual healing. And I'll tell you, we had the doctors and the nurses dancing in her room, laughing. And so instead of facing her surgery with fear, we had an entire team that was joyful. And we found that the music did reduce anxiety across the board, not just with this woman, but across the board by 40%.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, on
And this
average.
and this is the first of its kind, and it's pretty much groundbreaking. Now, how many do you think have taken on this research or applied it to other institutions,
Well,
clinics, hospitals, and all that?
we've been cited by hundreds of people, after this study. So now we're being cited by others that are interested in the same kind of work. And music and surgery is growing. Music in hospitals is growing because we always had music therapy in nursing homes. We had them in schools, but now it's Cleveland Clinic and university hospitals. Which Cleveland's a hub for music therapy. They have 10 dozens of music therapists now when
Wow.
my teacher was the first one in the 70s and there was just her. So it's a
Oh
growing.
my, oh my gosh. And it seems to me that you started this whole thing. What was that one moment that simply influenced you into doing music therapy, live surgery, and everything? That is so unique.
Good question. Good question. So when I was an intern under DeForia, this wonderful woman, um, I had the opportunity to observe a surgery, just observe. And it was a craniotomy, a brain surgery. And I'm sitting there and they wheel this woman in. She had fallen. She had a subdural hematoma, so bleeding on the brain, and they had to evacuate the blood. She didn't have
Oh,
time to call her family. She was 90 years old. She was scared. I mean, would she wake up from surgery? Would she ever see her family again? You could see that she was visibly scared. And I thought, what could music do in this moment to support these patients, brain surgery or cancer surgery or whatever surgery, to help their anxiety in this moment? She did survive the surgery. I saw her in the recovery. She was fine. They saved her life. But from that moment, this study was born, and I met the anesthesiologist in that surgery who partnered with me in the research.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And hopefully your music will be influencing musical therapy as well too. And of course you've been on The Voice of Holland, Ireland's Got Talent, and you kind of travel abroad around that time too, being a world traveler.
We got to, being living in Europe, all the countries are so close. So we got to, do a lot of road trips and see many countries, and every country has its own culture and flavors. It was a beautiful time.
And of course, well, Ireland's Got Talent. And where'd you place in that show, by the way?
So the big one was the Voice of Holland, and there was, I think, 8,000 Dutch people that tried out for that show. And I got on the show. They turned around for me. They're in those four chairs and they turn around. And I got on a group, and then I did a battle, and I did not advance from the battle. But I was a part of Dutch TV, and I had subtitles, Mike, that I would speak in English and they would put Dutch in subtitles under me. And I was the only American on the show.
Oh,
I've never,
really?
yes,
Wow. They
yeah.
actually allowed Americans on the show? Oh my goodness. I've never heard of that.
Well, it was so the Voice, NBC's The Voice started in Holland. So
Amazing.
it was created actually. Many reality shows started in Holland. The Voice, Big Brother, Fear Factor. This is all created by the same Dutch guy. And so
Really?
yeah, so The Voice started there, and I was on the original The Voice.
And a lot of us was done in Holland. And I was going to ask you about this about being done in Holland. It's like, what is the source of it and why is it so popular? And I guess the question is that, why Holland, having such popular shows, what's the element and what it takes and everything?
Well, it was I just went out for an audition, and it was so funny because when they called, I thought it was a joke, oh, we want you to be on this television show in Holland, and here I am, this American, and I'm a mom, I had a young child, and it wasn't a joke at all. And they put me, it was the number one show in the country.
Wow.
So it was a beautiful adventure. It was not an easy adventure. I had to learn Dutch, and things were translated for me, and I'd be like, when am I going on? Everything was spoken in a foreign language, and I made so many friends, and the talent there is really phenomenal. People don't go into music in the Netherlands unless they really have a talent. Like, they're very honest there. So if a young person was going to be a singer and didn't have the talent, they would tell them at a very young age. America's like got a little bit more padding and a little bit more of the American dream. They are very strict and honest. So every person
Really?
on the show was phenomenal.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to remind myself. It's like you don't sing, don't go to Holland. So,
Don't
um,
go to Holland if you are not perfect, right?
right.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And of course, you had some beautiful music yourself too with Not an Addict, Lorain Proud, and Love Killer, and also Bold with Ty Stone as well. We'll get to those along with Hometown Burn for You and more music with Jaclyn Bradley. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Songwriter Studios, and brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Wilson's Missing. We'll be back with the multi-talented Jaclyn Bradley after this time out. We're back to the multi-talented Jaclyn Bradley here on the Mike Wagner Show from Lorain, Ohio. Born and raised, traveled the world, and came back home. And you also have some beautiful music as well, too. You got music therapy. You also have been on shows and some music yourself. Not an Addict, Lorain Proud, Love Killer, and Bold with Ty Stone and more. And tell us more about those.
Well, my newest release is Hometown, and it's two songs. The single is Hometown, the B side is Burn for You. And I wrote these about coming home after many years away. And it's a song about coming back to your roots and finding everything you were looking for when you were away.
That's amazing. Okay. And of course, you have some other music as well, too. And tell us more about those. Not an Act, Lorain Proud, Love Killer, and more, and especially Bold with Ty Stone. And tell us more about those.
Well, Hometown was done in Nashville. Love Killer was recorded also in Nashville a couple of years prior, but Bold and all those were recorded when I lived in Los Angeles. Ty Stone is on Bold, and he is an amazing singer. He was signed to Kid Rock's label. I was his backup singer at the time, and he ended up doing a world tour with Kid Rock and has albums on Atlantic Records. He has since gone to law school and is now a big time attorney, but what a voice. And I was very honored that he sang on one of my songs, which is Bold. Cool song. Great voice on Ty if you want to hear a great male singer.
And so it does as well too, and a bit more about hometown burn for you, and besides coming home and everything like that. And what exactly got you to write those songs?
Well, um, always life experience. I try to write from my personal experiences. Um, Hometown, I went through a divorce. Um, Terrible time. It was COVID and the end of my marriage and, the splitting up of my family. I have a daughter. So very, very sad. But, life is like a roller coaster. It goes down and then it goes up again. And this is about the up again. I have love in my life. I have a beautiful daughter. I have a music school that I started when I moved home. And so I definitely made lemonade with lemons. And
Oh yes, that's right. And speaking of school as well too, it made me think of it, Rocktown Music Academy, and tell us more about it as well too, and people especially wanting to get into the academy.
well, first, my cat, my cat
Oh
wants
yeah, that's right. Your
to
special
go.
guest. I forgot. Let's get
Yeah.
to your special guest before we talk
She
about
was
him.
right here, so I thought it'd be a good time. This is Gidget.
I get
She
you.
is a Maine Coon. I got her in Ireland.
Nice.
And she traveled the miles to move back home with my daughter and I. This is Gidget. But hometown, or I'm sorry, Rocktown Music Academy. It is the music school I started in my hometown, and I started. I put online that I was giving voice lessons, and within a few minutes, I had a full roster. Like I couldn't take any more students.
Wow.
And there was no longer a music school in my hometown. And so I thought, gosh, there's a need for this. And so I started a music school. We have guitar lessons, piano lessons for all ages, voice lessons, acting lessons, violin, drum. It's a full service music school now. And it's been one of the joys of my life.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And more about that. And we covered the gamut of you being a singer, you also being a songwriter, and of course, getting the music therapy. And there's another thing that you add to your list is a filmmaker made of gold and love the bodies. We're in. Tell us more about those.
Well, the biggest film that I did was a documentary about my great uncle. I don't know if you're familiar with the USS Indianapolis. It's one of the ships that sank during World War II.
Mm,
And the men were in the water for 5 days without rescue. The
really?
reason they didn't have a rescue is because they had delivered the atomic bomb components that was going to end the war. So it was a total secret mission. Well, my great uncle was on that ship. He lost his life, but there were 300 survivors. And so we didn't know his story. My grandma didn't know his story. He had never had a funeral. So I did a documentary on his life and to learn about his final days. And I interviewed many of the men who had been his shipmates, and we finally had a memorial. And in my hometown park, there's a memorial for John Rosano Jr., my great uncle. So that was the first film,
Oh
and it
my
got
gosh.
awards. It got many awards.
And it certainly did as well too. And of course, being about the Rocktown Music Academy, and how can people find more about it, and also most importantly, how can people find out more about you, your music, and everything else?
Well, Rocktown Music Academy, we do Zoom lessons. If you're from out of town, they can have a lesson on Zoom. It's affordable. All of my teachers are performers, and so they are energetic. They're young. They're excited to do music. They can go to rocktownlorain.com. We are also on social media, Facebook, Instagram. If you Google Rocktown Music Academy, you will find us.
All right, and where can we find all your works at?
Well, the new songs and all of my music is on Apple Music, Spotify. You know, again, you can look up Hometown Jaclyn Bradley, and you will find it streamed everywhere.
All right, and we'll play those two at the end of the audio interview. We encourage everybody to check out the audio version of the Mike Wagner Show. Get a listen to Jaclyn Bradley, the multi-talented indie singer-songwriter, born and raised in Lorain, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And just a few more moments, Jaclyn, love having you back. What else can we expect from you 2024 and beyond?
Oh my gosh, every year has gotten better. I've learned more about myself and about others. I think the music school is definitely going to grow. I'm really hoping that hometown is heard by as many people as possible, and that it reaches their hearts, and makes them feel connected to their own hometowns.
Hmm. And especially
Um,
in your hometown as well, too. So,
yes, I'm very proud of Lorain, Ohio. My dad is the mayor now. Growing up, he was a defense attorney, and the last 4 years, and ongoing, he's been mayor. And so he's very close to our hometown. I'm very close, and Lorain. I think that's the biggest thing for the future. Is Lorain is coming. It was a steel town, so the last few years have been very difficult, but it's a new era, and that's what's really exciting for the future. Lorain, Ohio, baby. Watch it.
certainly is. And make sure you come visit as well, too. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
My biggest influence, probably my dad. He thought big. He always thought big. I was never told that I was dreaming too big. I was told if you really want to do it, if you work hard, if you get the education, if you surround yourself with others that are doing that, you can do it too. And so my dad reached for the stars. My mom supported both of us, and I'm trying to do the same thing.
And you're certainly doing a great job of it, especially being your hometown, Jaclyn. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Oh my gosh, the best advice: listen to yourself, go inside. I believe in that we can manifest our destiny. And so, if you really want something, don't be loud about it, be quiet, find it in your heart, and then release it to the world.
All right. That's certainly a good thing to remember. Sometimes we all need to be quiet as well, too. So we're here with the we're here with the amazing indie singer-songwriter of Hometown and Burn For You, Jaclyn Bradley, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Jaclyn, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love having you back. And once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people check out your works? And also the Rocktown Music Academy.
Okay, I am on Instagram. That's the best way to follow me. I'm at I am Jaclyn Bradley. My website is jaclynbradley.com. Music lessons, Rocktown Music Academy is Rocktown Lorain. Lorain is Lorain. Rocktownlorain.com. And you can Google all of this and find it all.
All
Thank
right,
you so much for this interview.
we'll do that. And once again, what are the websites?
Websites are jaclynbradley.com, rocktownlorain.com, and Instagram is I am Jaclyn Bradley.
All right, we'll certainly check those out. Once again, Jaclyn, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love having you back. We wish you all the best. And Jaclyn, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for having me on. And I think I'm going to take one of those pillows.